Let's fucking go.
Comic Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and I am here to give you another action classic in the form of 1997's Con Air, starring Nicolas Cage. Now, 1997 was a great year for Nicolas Cage. I don't know if you guys know this. Nicolas Cage had from 1997 to 2000, he had this stretch of just action movies. First of all, he was in The Rock with Sean Connery in 1996, just a year prior. And then he would be in this, Con Air, which I think Con Air was his first real big action leading man movie, which then he got to be in Face Off, later that year, same year, 1997, with John Travolta, which is also another movie that's been on the Action Classics list. And then, a couple years later, he would be in Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, obviously, he would be in some other movies too, Lord of War, the National Treasure movies, Ghost Rider, but like, it's so crazy, I feel like there's an argument to be made that the best action, because Nicolas Cage sort of like went from this weird auteur actor who was in like these smaller, more serious roles to like being in these more actiony roles after The Rock, and I believe, and Con Air was his first bite at the leading action man Apple. In fact, when I looked it up, funny enough, Con Air was produced for $75 million, which sounds kind of crazy for today's standards, but yeah, it was produced for $75 million, and it almost made 300 mil. So Con Air was a success. Then he would come out and do Face Off, which was a success. Then he did Gone in 60 Seconds, which was, like I said, he had a stretch of time, like a 3 to 4, maybe 5-year window, where he was just in these action movie bangers that like people regarded highly. They're all different, they're all unique, and they're all interesting from each other. But as a leading man in an action movie, he had already been a leading man in a movie before. I don't count him being a leading man in The Rock, because I think most of us would agree Sean Connery is the lead of The Rock. Like, sure, Nicolas Cage's character is a character you follow, but it's Sean Connery character who is the actual lead of The Rock. Whereas in this is his first bite at the apple at being a leading action man. And back in the 90s, it's not like that as much today as it used to be, but back in the 90s, once an actor started to show himself to be potentially like bankable, everyone would immediately try to attach an action franchise to him. Either attach an action franchise to him, or at least try to put him in an action movie of a sort. Because, like, that's where the money was, dude. That's where the real money was in the 90s. It's not really like that today, like superhero movies, sure, but the real money was in being the headliner of an action movie. And everyone was trying to do that, and Nick Cage was in the same boat with the other guys like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, and all of them were in the same boat together. George Clooney, they all were in the same boat of like, hey, yo, we need to get an action movie attached to these guys as soon as possible. And this was his first, like I say, this was his first bite at the apple. So Con Air is a interesting movie. Okay, it follows the character Cameron Poe. Cameron Poe is a just got out of the military, Marine Ranger, who due to some unfortunate events, he accidentally kills a guy, and it was in self-defense, but I'll get into that later. But still, he ended up killing a guy and getting sentenced to like 7 years in prison. And he spends the 7 years in prison. He's good, so he's good, he doesn't do anything, he's in prison, and he gets out of prison. So the day finally comes where he's gonna get out of prison. He's gonna get out of prison. Him and his friend are both getting on the same plane to get flown out to some other place. It's a weird whole thing. But unfortunately for Poe, the plane that he's getting put on to be transferred to get released on happens to be holding the most dangerous men in America, or at least some of the most dangerous men in the world, aka, and particularly some of the most dangerous men in America. And even more unfortunately for Poe, those men came up with an elaborate plan to hijack the plane, hence the name Con Air. And now Poe is stuck in this situation where he has to figure out a way to get himself out of it, but he also has to figure out a way to get his friend out of it, who also is innocent, and also stop these guys from getting loose and causing mayhem and chaos. And death and chaos happen throughout the course of the movie. Now, this movie, I'm going to talk about the positives first, because there are certain things about this movie that is just ridiculous. First of all, this movie is cheesy as fuck. Right from the very beginning. Right from the beginning of having it raining when Poe takes out those guys to make the drama so much more when he accidentally kills that guy. There are so many flashes and close-up shots and slow. There is a shot in the movie that made me laugh where at a certain point they're doing this whole roll call thing. They like to do that in movies like this where they want to heighten the idea, where they want to highlight being this character is this and this character is that, where someone's reading off a list and but at a certain point, his name gets brought up, and he comes off the bus. And in this movie, Nicolas Cage has long, luscious hair. I don't ever remember him I don't think he ever had as long or luscious hair. I mean, this dude looked like he was like going out for a freaking hair commercial. That's how long and luscious and I don't know. I want to know how. I don't know what they give you in prison, but apparently, hair, the conditioner is one of them, because his hair looks way too fucking good. But either way, he fucking gets off the bus, he looks up, and then slow motion and the music rails up. He's just getting off the bus. That's it. I was okay, this is there's many instances of the movie doing that, where someone's doing something not even that really intense, and they got the music swelling, and it's so fucking 90s cheese. But I love it. It's fun 90s cheese. But the positive things is that Poe, Nicolas Cage as Poe is good. I like him as Poe. He seems like an all shucks country boy who has a bit of a temper. He wears his heart on his sleeves. He doesn't always think things through, but he always has the best of intentions. And that does come through in his performance. That does actually come through. He would rather be doing anything but this, but he feels obligated to do something about the situation that's happening. But the rest of the cast is really fun. So first of all, you got John Malkovich here, who's playing Cyrus, Cyrus is sort of the main bad guy of the movie. He's the guy he's the head leader of this gang of criminals who hijack this plane. And they play it up. His nickname is Cyrus the Virus, because he's killed so many people. And he's straight up a fucking, comic book supervillain. Cyrus is a comic book supervillain. When they give you his little rundown, you're like, okay, so this dude's a radical, this dude's a genius because he got multiple degrees in prison, he knows multiple languages, he knows all these different things, and he's cold and calculating. And John Malkovich is a particular actor who plays certain characters a certain way. He will always play his characters, even if he's playing a good guy, like he played Marvin and Red. He's always got this craziness to him, behind the eyes crazy tick. Even when he's trying to play a normal character in a movie, there's always I'm like, dude, John Malkovich is always playing someone who is slightly fucking nuts. So he brings all of that energy to the character of Cyrus, and he's entertaining, he's funny, he's a little scary, he's a little scary, as cold as he can be, and he just says certain things, and the way he goes about his business is fun. Ving Rhames is in this as well as his second, and Ving Rhames is kind of fun in this. A surprising Dave Chappelle. I forgot that Dave Chappelle was even in this fucking movie, but Dave Chappelle's in the movie, and he's pretty funny too. So that was kind of fun. This movie is gratuitous with some of the action sequences. Some of the explosions and action sequences is like I say, it is over the top, but you can't take your eyes away from it. And things happen, and it has a great pace. I think the movie has a really good pace. It doesn't take very long. After the first 15 minutes, it is go. They take the plane, it is going. And randomly Steve Buscemi is in it. Is it Steve Buscemi? I always say his name. I know it's Buscemi. Is it Dave Buscemi? It's Steve Buscemi. I think it's Steve Buscemi. Is in this, and he's just Like, it's so weird because he plays like this awful serial killer. Like, the serial killer, like, they have him all scrapped up and shit, which is so, once again, 90s cheese. They have him all scrapped, this skinny dude all scrapped up and shit and, you know, whatnot, because apparently he murdered 136 people or some crazy shit like that. And he is just weird. But weird in once again, so much of this movie is like you just can't look away because of how fucking weird it is and because of how much is happening. Unfortunately for this movie though, it's one of those movies where you can't, like, how harshly do you want to judge it, right? Because there's plot holes galore. First of all, I don't entirely buy that Poe would have gotten the time he got for the situation that happened, because even though you could say he could have driven away, those three guys are coming up on him. Those three guys have been antagonizing him all day, and they were coming up on his car. It's not like they were over here and he left his car and walked over there and started a fight with them. Also, dude drew a knife, and the movie took the time to zoom in on the knife like it was gonna be something, like they were gonna make something out of this knife situation. Never comes back up. And also, the entire beginning of the movie is to set up the idea that Poe doesn't think things through. He needs to chill out. He needs to reflect on that. He needs to learn to walk away from stuff. And then in the end, the same impulses that got him thrown in prison and missed the birth of his daughter are the same impulses that led to him stopping these criminals. It's just weird. Also, the ending is gratuitous as fuck. Now, like I said, it's 90s craze, so it's hard to really give too much shit. But in the end of the movie, they crashed this plane in Las Vegas on the Las Vegas Strip, and it's so wild because I'm thinking about something the whole time. Like, bruh, Las Vegas, like Nevada's Nevada's got a shit ton of desert. I've never looked at, it's been a long time since I looked at a map of Nevada, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly desert. How the fuck, the only reason they crashed in Las Vegas was so they can blow shit up, was so they can destroy shit, and it was so unnecessary. Also, Poe going out of his way to like run them down on motorcycles, like some of the action stuff, like, it's just so weird how they get to it. How the logic behind some of the action doesn't make any sense. The action itself is whatever, but the logic behind how we got here doesn't always make a lot of sense. Poe's supposed to be this badass ranger, but you really only have one action sequence of actually seeing him be badass ranger, and that's when he gets caught by these three cartel guys, and he kicks all their asses, take their gun, and he does it smoothly, swiftly, roundhouses motherfucker. He looks kind of cool, and then that's it. That's the only time you really ever get to see that. Otherwise, he's just kind of running around and sneaking around, and sure, he gets in fights, but none of the fights are like that's. None of the fights are as cool as the fight he had with those three cartel dudes. And it made me go, why couldn't I have him doing that more in the movie? But whatever, okay, sure. But the biggest problem the movie has is that it's another one of those movies, and I've spoken about this before. Hell, the last movie I just did, I talked about this, that's trying to riff a little bit on Die Hard, which is the everyman being in a crazy situation with bad guys and having to get himself out of it. But they try to have their cake and eat it too. They want Poe to simultaneously be the coolest dude, because he's the coolest dude. He's got this long hair, he's shredded. Nick Cage has to be in the best shape of his life, and he's this badass like former Marine Ranger. So it's like he's not a normal dude, but they want to have it also him be a normal dude, but also be a badass. And the thing that made John McClane so awesome in Die Hard is he was genuinely he was genuinely an ordinary guy who found out he could do this. Whereas Poe, he already knew he could do this kind of shit. He just doesn't want to. But like I said, it's still a fun movie. It's the definition of a popcorn movie. Movies like this are what those theaters are made for. It's an insanely fun concept of just this happening, even though it's completely implausible. But that's what the theaters are for. Completely implausible popcorn movies. And this is one of them. It's one of the all-time popcorn movies. And I would give Con Air, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I think as a popcorn movie, as a movie you're just going to sit down and watch, it is fun. The moment you start thinking about anything in it, it drops down to a 5 out of 10. But anyways, thank you guys for coming to the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.